Hi friends, this is Calpun Piso presenting facts again. And let me present this down-to-earth fact about the brain. That creates religion is one of the schizophrenias. This is why. Okay, the brain creates thought. We are product of coitus. True or false? I mean, who was our creator? Was it the penis of our fathers that spit sperm into our mother's cave of creation? That's a fact. So I'm going to provide you with this very simple facts, not technical lingo, because it will take me, 3 years to explain everything, and nobody will even understand it. But down to earth facts, and I present everything that I say has the evidence to back it up, the scientific evidence and historical evidence to back it up. I don't bullshit. 2 + 2 = 4. No any number, any cry-psychotic infected imbecile says it is. So here it is, and this is all based on science, on JAMA. Religious beliefs are mental illness. Nobody sees it. Nobody seems to see it. But I point it out because I connect the dots, and that's what I do. I connect all the dots, and then when you connect the dots, you see the whole picture, and you see the truth. And Journal of American Medical Association. But they don't connect religious to a mental illness, to a very dangerous neurological disorder. We create thinking with the brain. The brain produces hypophoba, imaginary friend or foe, irrational belief acceptance, at the core of all religions, and schizophrenias, and many, many neurological disorders. Religion itself, faith itself, is composed of hypophoba, imaginary friend or foe, irrational belief acceptance, is a neurological condition, not different than schizophrenia. And we must realize this is true. United States is a Christianity-infected nation, suffering from psychosis spreading churches. I say that ad nauseum, and I keep repeating it because it's a fact, and every American should be aware of this fact. The brain is the creator of thinking. When the brain is malfunctioning, is defective, suffering from religious faith psychosis, which is one of the schizophrenias, then reality cannot be grasped. And this is the problem. You cannot tell between fact and fiction, as occur in all mythologies and religious psychosis mythologies. As long as you see a religion as a mythology, as a compendium of mythologies, then you're okay, you're sane. In other words, you're mentally healthy. You're an atheist. A means without, theos means God, or hypophoba, imaginary friends. No imaginary friend belief. In other words, no God belief. And a person that doesn't believe in God is mentally healthy. In other words, an atheist by definition. And we keep in mind that the brain is the creator of thinking. And we are product of coitus, a spit of a sperm from our fathers. The true creator, the penis of our father. And creating the brain emerged blank. And these are facts. And you realize here from JAMA, psychiatry, why matter difference among adolescents reporting psychotic experiences? Now, what is a psychotic experience? The mind is producing a psychosis, is a false, irrational belief, and which includes pareidolia, glossolalia, and this feeling. And as I said, all religions have psychosis experiences. All of them have it because they're irrational belief. They have hypophoba. And the schizophrenia have hypophoba. Because we are, after all, crazy apes. We're mutated, evolved primates. That's what we are. So there is a reason that religion is one of the schizophrenias. Is a compendium of psychosis because it produces this belief when it is accepted are true. And people that are really truly religious are psychotic people. See, and if you go to church and you don't believe anything, but you like it because it's a tradition, like mostly the Jews do, they see their religious psychosis as a tradition, then they are okay. They are mentally healthy. They are atheists. They go to church and they go to synagogue and they go to mosque and all that just to be a tradition and conform, but you don't believe in this stuff, then you're okay. You're healthy. And you know, you can see that in our amazing mentally healthy POTUS with a magna cum laude. You have to be very intelligent to have a magna cum laude from Harvard, and that's President Obama. So as you can see that, but religion itself, Christianity is a mental disease. It's the worst of all of the schizophrenias. It began in the 4th century. It's a compendium of false, irrational, a psychosis compendium. Now, you know that we create everything with the brain. But when we are born, how do we get the information? And the information is gathered by our five senses. It's called sensory gating, and it's the main controller of all the information, all the influx. But the five senses is the pulvinar nuclei in the thalamus. Now we have the sense of taste, sense of smell, eyesight, touch, hearing, five senses. All that bring the information. If you have influx when you're a little kid and you have a lot of information all together, your brain wants to see everything else, then you have autism. And of course there's all these different chemicals and different things affecting the brain at the moment that you're growing up, and it's all genetic. So your beliefs are controlled by all of those sensors. When they give you information, it's just like when your eyes are kind of bad and you don't see really well, and you say, oh, I know, but you think you know what you're seeing, but since you have astigmatism and a little bit myopia, you cannot tell, but you believe that this represents a car. It's not a car but a rock. But to you it's a car, it's a car. Well, the same thing with all the senses and belief. So when all the beliefs are confused, and if your brain is weak, and it cannot fend off all, and is addicted to dopamine, because schizophrenia is produced, as the other schizophrenia, produced by an addiction to dopamine. The brain wants its feel-good chemicals, dopamine and all that. And it's a lot of stuff is genetic. And then this will make you search for fairy tales, and fairy tales are comforting and better than reality. Reality kind of bothers you. So you want to get away from reality. That's why a lot of people drink or take drugs and all that to get away from the reality that bothers them. And the worst of the reality is the fact that we're aging and we're going to get old and we're going to die. So you have to invent all these imaginary friends so that to give you comfort, to make you feel better. That's where religious psychosis come from. And you know, this is the moment that we realize what we are, then it's no problem, because science is wonderful. I mean, it's great. When I die, I'm going back to the same place that I was before I was even conceived. That's beautiful. We're part of the whole universe. That's fantastic thinking. But you have to be an atheist, mentally healthy atheist, to understand all this and understand science. This is the thing. See, the objective of this study is to study the white matter differences using the fusion weight, you know, all that, with others who reported psychotic experiences. But this is done in Ireland, and in many places. What is psychosis experience? If you are brought up in a religious psychosis-infected home, in this case, Christian home, if you have the beliefs and you really, you know, you go to church and you're an adolescent, see, and you might hear voices, you might hear the Lord, you might believe that the guardian angel is hovering around you and kind of protect you. You believe in omens. You believe in good luck signs. You believe in touching the relics of saints that would make you feel good. You go to church and you bow and you believe in all that. That is a psychosis experience. But of course, religious people will try to differentiate between schizophrenia and faith. And they don't realize that's one and the same. Again, hypophoba in religion is no different than the hypophoba in neurological disorders, all produced by the brain. And hypophoba is imaginary friend or foe, irrational belief acceptance. In other words, to accept good people like gods and angels and all that, and also your enemies, which is demons and the devil and all these bad people, and as if they were reality. And that is a psychosis. Imaginary friend, God, or foe, the devil. Irrational belief, because they defy reason. They are irrational. They are not based on logic, on science, on tangible reality. It's just an ethereal concept of that, like faith, which faith is pretending to know things that we do not know. See, and that's what faith is. Brilliant Dr. Bogosian made that definition, and he's very correct. But the faith is created in the brain. There you go. Now, we must keep in mind about this study. Look. Ethical approval was obtained for the experimental protocol for this study from the Medical Research Ethics Committee, Beaumont Hospital in Dublin. Keep in mind, Dublin is a Christianity-infected country, city. The School of Psychology, Trinity College. Trinity College. What is the Trinity? It means God. God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit, which is a psychosis. You see what I mean? See? The study is done in Christianity-infected cities, the Christianity-infected Ireland. It's very psychotic people, so you have a contradiction of thought. So you cannot dismiss schizophrenia and separate schizophrenia from faith and religion. So you divide both of them. One, oh, schizophrenia, and oh no, this is psychosis and this bad, and then you go through this study, which has a lot of technical wording in English. Keep in mind where English comes from. English was not spoken 2,000 years ago. See, when Christianity started, it was by Constantine 325 CE, in the vast Roman Empire, initiating the disintegration of the Roman Empire, the Dark Ages, intellectual stagnation and everything. The church controlled everything in the 4th century, controlled the education. And the language spoken was Latin and Greek. See, and there were variations in the vast Roman Empire. And they sprung over the centuries the modern language of today. And the modern language of today are all Christianity infected. They're based in all this hocus pocus crap. And this is the reason for 1700 years that you don't see religion being considered one of the schizophrenias, a neurological disorder. And this is the reason this religion, they don't talk about sex, they don't talk about evolutionary biology a while back. Never. It's dirty and bad and the women are dirty and all this bunch of hocus pocus crap of the 6th century. And they keep bringing it up all the time, and you still have the church in this 21st century. You see, and the reason is because of English. And the variations of English, the variation of the modern language, English, German, Spanish, and all these languages that are based on the Roman Empire, sprung from the Roman Empire and control and invented and created from the Latin and Greek and all the derivatives of Celtic tribes and all these languages, all created by the church. The Christ-psychotic infected church. That is the one that started the whole thing, creating the concepts and words and new words invented all under Christianity. You see, this is the problem. You have England, a Christianity-infected nation, and the head of the Church of England is the Queen, since Henry VIII, and all the fights between the religious psychotics. And this is the reason you have this religion infects neurology. See, diffusion, weight, imagine, acquisition. They don't realize it. They are blind people. This is all religious psychosis. The technical language of neurology. You'll see the facts. You'll see the fact the brain, regardless of all this technology, is the creator of thinking. And no matter what language you use. The alpha or the imaginary friend or foe irrational beliefs that are accepted as true in all religions, faith, in conspiracy theories and all this hocus pocus crap, and the alpha of neurological disorders, all of them created by the brain, regardless of what all the technical things. There is no question. It's very simple. We are created by a spit of a sperm, regardless of all the technical terms here. That's what we are created, by a penis Christ spitting sperm. Simple. That's it. That's the truth. And this created the brain, and the brain is us, and we create thinking with the brain. When the brain is sick, I only create sick thinking. Religion is one of the schizophrenias. It's the HIV of the brain, and a lot of things influence the brain. Viruses, parasites, like schistosomes, all kind of stuff make the people think crazy. And we're already crazy apes, evolved military primates. So as you can see, religion is one of the schizophrenias. To me, HIV of the neural array. Rest my case. That's the reason I keep saying it all the time ad nauseum. I don't want to bring up all the technical stuff that nobody will understand, except neurologists. You see, so why to bring all the technical stuff? Just basically the fact that religious beliefs is one of the schizophrenias, and neurological is a very dangerous cancer of the brain that could make our species extinct. And that should be pointed out to all scientists in the United States of America. All the scientists, especially the mentally healthy atheists that are clueless with this fact and don't call religious psychosis for what they are. Keep in mind, everything I say is based on facts and science. But I connect all the dots. You have to connect everything. Otherwise you have tunnel vision. If you only see one thing, you're an expert on just one thing, then you miss everything else. You have tunnel vision. I connect all the dots and all the science. This is interesting. From zombie stars. Well, if you connect the dots in the universe, which is our brains are the universe within, the universe we create thinking with. You know, when we start understanding what thought is, and how the brain, our brains, like galaxies inside, there are more connections in our brains than galaxies in the universe. And this is a fact, and you can understand that. And everything is by spit of cum, and 3.5 billion years of evolution, of existence, of when our solar system was created. 5 billion years ago, and the Earth, 3 billion, and so forth, and 13 point something billion years since the Big Bang, which is the initiation of the singularity, which is an initiation according to Dr. Kaku and many other brilliant scientists, the multiverse, string theory. And I believe that. I mean, it's just like a lot of things points out to that. And our brain is actually telling us, because our brain at the universe is the universe getting to know itself with our brains, with cognition. And it's telling us, you have the feeling that this is happening. See, and this is kind of interesting, that our own brains, and we experience a lot of this stuff at night when we dream. We're going into a sixth dimension, a dimension of thought, cognitive cognition. And then you have your subconscious mind, which is nothing. We're into quantum thought, and into the experiences of dreams, they past, present, and future become one. Nothing makes sense in our dreams. But when we're dreaming, everything makes sense. So it's very interesting to see that the time machine in our brains when we dream. And this is the brain. But we have to connect all the dots and understand science and stamp out religious psychosis. Because religious psychosis, the HIV of the brain, could make all of us extinct. And speaking of languages, how languages, especially English, all the modern languages, English, and all its variations, were created over time by Christianity-infected church. All the Western world influenced by Christ's psychosis 1700 years ago. How the words change. And a very good example is the word thug. And with so much technology today, with the internet, with the web, with all this, there is no excuse for people to be so stupid, ignorant, and dumb, especially in CNN reporters and people in position of power, and judges and reporters. It's so stupid. Sunny Hostin, for instance, CNN, about the word thug. The woman is stupid. And look, here it is. This is where the word thug comes from. It's from an Indian sect. Religious psychosis, of course.
A racist term, but because it has been racialized, I think people in power, leadership, have to be very careful with the use of that term.
Dumb, extremely ignorant woman. Doesn't know what the word thug means. It means criminal. She's extremely stupid. Sunny Hostin, a former prosecutor, is an imbecile. It's a psychotic infected imbecile. Stupid woman. I don't know why CNN hires her. This is what I'll show you. This is what the word thug means. There it is. There it is. But you know what it was? And I studied that. It's a Hindu sect. That's what it means. He covers or conceals. And you know, the thugs were a religious sect in India in the 1830s. And they strangled people with a silk, sacred handkerchief. And what they did is that they strangled people as offerings to the goddess Kali, the god of destruction. Those were the thugs. And some of them, they were bragging that they would kill a lot of the British psychotic as offerings to Kali. So that was a thug, and is considered now a criminal. And now the imbecile, psychotic infected imbeciles, blacks, the stupid woman and stupid ignorant, they don't want the president to use the word thug. He was correct when he said thugs and criminals. Criminals and thugs are the same thing. It's like Asholian, like a dumb Christianity infected Asholian psychopath. It's like Theotard and retard. Theotard, Theo God, Tard, Tardus, delay or regress because of God belief. There you go. See, thug? Criminal, moron, imbecile, get educated. Keep in mind, some begot belief is a brain disease and spreading churches, the cancer of the brain, and HIV. Pace Diorum.